If you are watching this right now, there is something you need to understand before your rational mind tries to explain it away. This is not chance, not coincidence, not some random suggestion from the algorithm. This is a precise energetic transmission from the version of you that has already arrived, the self who has already made it through, who has achieved a degree of frequency coherence powerful enough to create a magnetic pull that moves backward through time and draws you to this exact instant. At the deepest level of existence, when a reality stream accumulates enough energetic momentum, it transforms from a mere possibility into a gravitational force, a vibrational current that pulls, and this pull generates what you experience as coincidences or moments of synchronicity. But the reality is, they are equations, quantum mechanics, two separate realities beginning their process of fusion. What you are experiencing in this moment is not here to entertain your curiosity. It is here to signal that the transformation you initiated months or perhaps years ago is now approaching its completion phase, where each remaining fragment of the old structure begins to dissolve, where the patterns you once found comfort in suddenly feel suffocating, where discussions that once carried weight now ring empty, where connections that once consumed your attention can no longer penetrate your field because they vibrate at a frequency you have already transcended. This is not psychological turbulence, and this is not burnout. This is the inevitable result of reality convergence, the instant when your previous identity loses its capacity to anchor you in place. When the momentum of an emerging reality becomes sufficiently intense to shape the present moment, you will detect the initial indicators through a highly particular feeling. The paradoxical sense that something monumental is drawing near, combined with the terror that a single misstep could cause the entire thing to vanish. You interpret this as nervousness, but what it truly represents is interference, the collision of two reality streams, the evidence that the gap between your current position and your victorious future is closing at an accelerating rate. Through the framework of quantum mechanics, when a high-probability reality stream passes its activation point, it starts generating what physicists call a causal echo, the resonance of a future occurrence rippling backward into the now, similar to sensing the rumble of thunder well before you witness the lightning strike. What you are experiencing is not prophecy. It is future memory, a category of information your biological system receives before your perception validates the proof. When you unexpectedly discover stillness amid disorder, when the things that once controlled you release their grip, when you feel as though you are observing your former life from outside the frame, this is not detachment. This is a transformation in the reference point of your awareness, shifting from the expired reality stream to the incoming one. This occurs because you have generated a frequency sufficiently stable, sufficiently refined, sufficiently powerful for an alternate reality to merge with your current position. You are not simply contemplating the future. You are making contact with it, and it is making contact with you in return. The initial evidence is always the recognition that your previous existence has become strangely weightless, as though it no longer exerts influence over you. Concerns that once disrupted your sleep now feel remote. Work that once depleted you no longer dominates your thoughts. Connections that no longer align begin fading naturally, as though some unseen intelligence is severing each attachment that once bound you. This release is unavoidable because when your vibrational signature rises, frequencies below that threshold cannot sustain their connection. Biology names it transformation. Psychology names it evolution. but quantum mechanics names it resonance breakdown. You are not being deserted. You are not deteriorating. You are separating from a reality your physical form, consciousness, and essence can no longer occupy. This is the opening phase of reality convergence. The instant when you discover yourself suspended between two worlds, no longer aligned with the expired, not yet completely anchored in the emerging. And this passage is the most powerful confirmation that the new reality stream has accumulated sufficient stability to initiate its merging process. Within the quantum matrix, every reality exists in parallel, but the one you experience is determined by your dominant resonance. When your previous existence begins to feel like a distant recollection, it is not because you are fatigued. It is because your frequency has already departed from it. This is the core insight of the opening movement, the recognition that you are not searching for the confirmation. You are standing within the confirmation. You are not anticipating transformation. You are the transformation itself. And the transmission arrived not to forecast your destination, but to validate that you have already placed one foot inside it. As you penetrate further into the mechanics of reality convergence, there is an inquiry you must pause and direct inward at this precise moment. In recent days, have you sensed something restructuring beneath the surface of everything visible? A quiet yet undeniable force, systematically reorganizing the components of your existence without requiring logical approval. A sensation of suspension indicating you are no longer positioned in the territory you once inhabited. That a different layer of existence is beckoning you, inviting you to step across, inviting you to embody the self you have always recognized you were designed to become. That sensation is not delusion, and it is not fantasy. It is the first communication from an emerging reality stream, attempting to synchronize with your current position, comparable to two waveforms intersecting and generating a completely new configuration. If you have ever paused in confusion, questioning why you can sense something approaching with absolute clarity, despite no rational explanation existing for it, that is frequency elevation. It is the instant when your consciousness intercepts the transmission long before material reality reflects the change. And at this juncture, I want to present you with a direct question that will determine the trajectory of everything that follows. Are you genuinely prepared to cross into the layer of reality that is calling your essence? Do you possess the courage to acknowledge that your existence is not simply preparing to shift direction, it is preparing to shift dimensions? If this question resonates with you even marginally, even if it manifests as just a subtle tension in your chest or a single heartbeat that feels different, I want you to make your presence known to me right now, because I am speaking directly to you, your transmission, your evolution. And so I am not projecting into emptiness. Drop a comment stating, "I am ready," or simply the number 1. So I recognize you are present with me, absorbing, sensing, and selecting yourself in this exact instant. This instant carries more significance than you comprehend, because what I generate only activates when someone is willing to enter it, experience it, and allow it to transform into action within their existence. If you leave this signal, I am profoundly grateful for your presence because it confirms I am addressing a consciousness that is prepared to expand into its subsequent expression. Once you are prepared, we can proceed into the foundation of this transmission. Because the second movement is not only concerning the convergence of reality streams, it addresses a more fundamental truth, that an emerging reality stream does not attract you because you desire it. It attracts you because you have achieved the frequency where it can finally detect you. In quantum terminology, frequency cannot be falsified. You cannot simulate readiness. You cannot simulate healing. You cannot simulate the release of what no longer serves you. Your energetic field exposes everything. And only when your field corresponds with an elevated vision does the matching reality stream begin manifesting as an actual possibility. What you must comprehend at this deeper stratum is that a reality stream does not select you arbitrarily. It selects you when you transform your internal framework, when you cease being the individual who existed within previous limitations, when you cease resonating with the narratives you once accepted as truth, when your awareness expands beyond what you previously considered secure. This is why in recent times, you may feel like an individual positioned between two existences, one disintegrating and one starting to crystallize, undefined in form but unmistakable in sensation. You no longer desire interactions that deplete your vitality. You no longer wish to perpetuate identical patterns. You no longer feel enthusiasm for the objectives your former identity once pursued, and you discover yourself entering unusual silent spaces, neither melancholy nor euphoric, simply disconnected from what once defined your identity. This is the separation from previous resonance, one of the most critical shifts in the mechanics of reality streamwork, because only when you cease vibrating with the expired frequency can you be drawn into the emerging one. The second movement exists to help you realize that you are not witnessing transformation from an external position. You are the epicenter of it, and what you are experiencing is not confusion. It is the relocation of your energetic foundation from one layer of reality into another. If you sense you are positioned precisely at this threshold, validate it to yourself once more. Drop a comment stating, "I am ready," or simply the number 1 as a minor yet powerful affirmation that you have stepped beyond what was, and I am genuinely grateful for you. What appears insignificant to you is a potent signal in the quantum matrix that you have chosen, and once you choose, everything ahead initiates its transformation in ways even you cannot anticipate. As you advance deeper into the mechanics of reality convergence, you begin to perceive a truth most individuals never recognize. Reality does not transform because you wish it to. It transforms because your internal configuration shifts, and internal configuration never changes accidentally. It changes when a more powerful force from the future extends backward and pulls you toward it. This is where many individuals on the consciousness journey become disoriented. They believe they are constructing the future, but in reality, they are only removing the obstructions so the future that already exists can locate them. This is why you have begun detecting unusual movements within your energy field. Not unusual in a destructive way, but clear indicators that layers of reality are beginning to interpenetrate. When an emerging reality stream enters the zone of intersection with the present, you sense the shift before it materializes as an occurrence, identical to sensing the wind shift before precipitation arrives. Certain things unexpectedly feel weightless and unquestionably clear, while others feel more substantial and discordant. And these sensations do not originate from the intellect. They originate from the quantum detection mechanism of your nervous system. If you sense you are positioned precisely at this threshold, validate it to yourself once more. Drop a comment stating, "I am ready," or simply the number 1 as a minor yet powerful affirmation that you have stepped beyond what was, and I am genuinely grateful for you. What appears insignificant to you is a potent signal in the quantum matrix that you have chosen, and once you choose, everything ahead initiates its transformation in ways even you cannot anticipate. You are not controlling a system, You are being absorbed into a more powerful one. What renders this process elegant is that the pull is not aggressive. It is an offering, a subtle, energetic magnetism. You experience a profound intuition, instantaneous understanding, an instance of clarity you cannot rationally justify. One of the most apparent signs of this phase is the experience of separation from previous structures. As the emerging reality stream becomes more crystallized, the expired one begins fragmenting, not through catastrophic events, but through incompatibility. The compulsion to validate yourself dissolves. The impulse to accommodate others diminishes. Even aspirations that once held importance lose their emotional charge. This is not indifference. It is the transformation of consciousness, identical to the way you cannot compel yourself to read material that no longer corresponds with your frequency. Once resonance is eliminated, action loses significance. This reveals you are escaping the interference pattern of the expired reality stream. The interference that once convinced you that you needed to exert more effort to exist correctly, when the reality was, you only needed to shift to the proper frequency. Another essential element in this phase is the emergence of a profound internal silence. Many individuals misinterpret this as a decline of drive, but in reality, it is a form of frequency recalibration, where your physical system and consciousness adjust to correspond with the incoming reality stream. You become less impulsive, less volatile, less invested in everything. You may not recognize it, but this is confirmation that your nervous system is synchronizing with an alternate field of information, comparable to a device transitioning to a superior bandwidth. Silence is not cessation. It is optimization, and optimization always occurs in stillness. As this synchronization intensifies, you begin to perceive a refined form of direction from within, not internal conversation, not thoughts attempting to persuade you of something, but a wordless knowing that requires no justification. This is the transmission of the causal echo, where information from the future ripples backward into the present as clarity without logic. Intuition cannot be debated. It can only be acknowledged, and as the emerging reality stream strengthens, your intuition becomes more acute, more immediate and less disrupted, because the expired energetic field no longer possesses sufficient power to create interference. If this transmission is resonating with your field right now, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel, so you stay connected to this frequency as we continue exploring these consciousness principles together. You begin observing that occurrences in your existence arrange themselves with such precision that labeling them coincidence feels deceptive. The individual you need to encounter manifests at the optimal instant. A pathway you assumed closed reveals itself in an unexpected manner. The solution you pursued materializes precisely when you are prepared to surrender. This is the principle of resonance, where occurrences begin being attracted toward the architecture of the reality stream you are aligning with. This is not sorcery. It is energy mechanics. When your frequency transforms, your environment must transform to correspond with it. Nothing in this segment is arbitrary. Everything is component of a precise feedback mechanism between you and your future identity. Every instant is an anchor sustaining your alignment. And if you have experienced this even once, even for an instant, you are nearer to the convergence point than you comprehend. The victory you believe you are advancing toward has already materialized, and what you are experiencing now is simply the process of recollecting it through the mechanics of chronology and frequency. As you step into the more profound layers of reality convergence, You begin to comprehend that the genuine mechanism of transformation does not reside in external occurrences, but in the refined movements within consciousness, where you begin sensing transformation not with your vision or your logic, but with the vibration of your own presence. This is the phase where the emerging reality stream is no longer simply a possibility, but is already shaping your biological field in highly particular ways, generating the sensation as if you are passing through an invisible threshold, not marked by any obvious occurrence yet, undeniably experienced as an authentic shift inside you. At this juncture, the most apparent sign is that your thinking begins transforming direction without exertion, as though a new processing system has been installed without you ever recollecting when you authorized it. As the emerging reality stream becomes more crystallized, the expired one begins fragmenting, not through catastrophic events, but through incompatibility. The compulsion to validate yourself dissolves. The impulse to accommodate others diminishes. Even aspirations that once held importance lose their emotional charge. This is not indifference. It is the transformation of consciousness, identical to the way you cannot compel yourself to read material that no longer corresponds with your frequency. Once resonance is eliminated, action loses significance. This is not imagination. The human nervous system is a quantum apparatus, and when it intercepts a transmission from an elevated reality, it transforms instantaneously at both emotional and behavioral dimensions. The most obvious confirmation is that you begin perceiving what no longer belongs to you. Previous habits feel exhausting. Circumstances that once activated you no longer generate a response. Interactions that once generated friction now feel vacant. This is the detuning between you and the expired frequency, comparable to two instruments that no longer harmonize. One naturally loses resonance and shifts to a different tonality. What is most fascinating is that none of this requires exertion. It occurs because a more powerful reality stream is calling you into it. You will also observe an instantaneous clarity, instance when you recognize you cannot return to the individual you used to be, cannot exist in previous patterns, cannot tolerate anything that is misaligned with your current frequency. This clarity arrives gently, yet carries the gravity of a significant resolution, and it signals that you have crossed a crucial frequency threshold. Once you cross this threshold, another shift manifests, the release of attachment. You no longer attempt to control everything, no longer try to forecast the future, no longer grasp at stability the way you once did, and instead of experiencing insecurity, you feel more buoyant, as though a powerful force is quietly directing you, and all you need to do is follow its cadence. This is the mechanism of backward causation, when the future that has already materialized sends transmissions backward through chronology to ensure you advance in the proper direction. You are not forecasting the future. The future is sculpting you. Once you comprehend this, the silent instants you have experienced recently are no longer indicators of stagnation, but indicators of calibration, comparable to a device that must transform bandwidth before intercepting a new transmission. In that silence, the stillness is not vacant. It is preparation. Another refined shift you will observe at this phase is the way chronology behaves. Certain days, everything decelerates, so profoundly that you sense nothing is advancing, and then unexpectedly, a sequence of unforeseen occurrences unfolds rapidly, as though the emerging reality stream has reached readiness and is pulling you forward far more rapidly than you are accustomed to. This is the principle of a reality stream shift. The system decelerates when preparing, then accelerates exponentially once the passage initiates. Now, if you're sensing that there is more to your timeline, you're right. There is. I've documented the complete system of consciousness frequencies in my book, Beyond the Frequencies, a quantum guide to consciousness mastery. It takes you through the 9 master frequencies that shift you from seeking to being, from manifestation to embodiment, showing you exactly how to become the broadcast itself rather than someone trying to tune into it. It's linked in the pinned comment below. The most significant message of the 4th movement is that the transformation you sense is not temporary. It is the construction of a new identity. You are not simply passing through a phase. You are releasing a lower expression of yourself. You are not simply approaching the emerging reality stream. You are fusing with it. When your frequency transforms, your environment must transform to correspond with it. This segment of the narrative is about learning to perceive that nothing occurring around you is arbitrary. Everything is component of a precise feedback mechanism between you and your future identity. Every instant is an anchor sustaining your alignment. And if you have experienced this even once, even for an instant, you are nearer to the convergence point than you comprehend. As you enter the subsequent phase of reality convergence, a highly refined process begins unfolding in the more profound layers of your unconscious. A restructuring of identity. Not the identity you contemplate when you contemplate yourself, but the identity at the frequency dimension, where what you believe is actual and what you believe is achievable are rewritten by the powerful transmission of the emerging reality stream. If the earlier phase is focused on separating from the expired and sensing the emergence of the new, then this phase reveals to you why the shift becomes so intense and why you cannot revert to your previous expression, even for an instant. Your reality does not transform because you wish it to transform. It transforms because you have become an individual who no longer corresponds with the frequency of your previous reality. It is comparable to an electron ascending to a superior orbit. It does not descend back to the inferior one from habit. It remains because its energy dimension has transformed. You are identical. You cannot compel yourself to revert to patterns you have transcended because your consciousness has shifted so profoundly that the expired reality stream no longer recognizes you as component of it. This is the point many individuals overlook. They believe they must struggle to sustain the new frequency or battle to prevent falling back. But in reality, the emerging reality stream has become sufficiently stable that the expired one no longer possesses the strength to pull you downward. What you experience as lightness, liberation, and an absence of internal friction is confirmation that a new expression of you has become the dominant force in the information field of your existence. This dominance is not aggressive. It is alignment, comparable to an instrument calibrated to the proper pitch that can no longer generate the discordant notes it used to. A clear indication of this phase is that you begin observing everything in your existence with different vision. Not the vision of terror or defense, but the vision of awareness. Vision that perceives what is occurring without becoming absorbed in it. You begin to comprehend that not every emotion belongs to you. Not every thought merits believing, and not every circumstance requires a response. This awareness does not emerge because you are attempting to remain composed. It emerges because your frequency has advanced beyond the point where disorder can affect you. What cultivates inside you is a gentle but undeniable certainty, not aggressive confidence, but an inherent knowing that you are advancing in the proper direction, that everything is aligning, that nothing can prevent the emerging reality stream from completely integrating into your existence. This certainty requires no confirmation because it does not originate from the intellect. It originates from direct connection with your future identity. As this connection strengthens, you observe another refined shift. Your resolutions become more immediate, more transparent, liberated from hesitation. You no longer rotate in cycles of analysis, no longer attempt to accommodate others, no longer evaluate yourself through the lens of terror. Instead, you act from a central point where every movement has clarity, precision, and alignment, as though you already recognize the outcome. This precision is not fortune. It is resonance between you and the individual you are becoming. When your future identity sends transmissions into your present, what you intercept is not words or instructions, but insight. This is the instant the emerging reality stream does not only pull you, it begins to collaborate with you. You perceive it in how you respond to existence. Things that once disturbed you now pass like minor ripples. Occurrences that once stressed you now feel like meaningful challenges. And even what you once labeled failure is now perceived as restructuring. Everything begins to appear like a meticulously orchestrated composition, every detail in its position, every shift with significance, every delay containing information, every surprise carrying intention. This is the most apparent indication that you have crossed the point of irreversibility, where your consciousness has advanced too proximate to the emerging reality stream for the expired one to contain you anymore. And at this juncture, you experience something remarkable. The sensation of being directed from ahead, a force opening pathways, removing obstacles, arranging details, adjusting everything so you advance in the proper direction. This is not imagination. It is the natural mechanism of an activated reality. When the emerging reality stream becomes more powerful than the expired, the future begins intervening in the present to ensure the convergence occurs smoothly. This manifests as misaligned things dissolving, individuals out of resonance drifting from your existence, the proper opportunities advancing towards you, and significant intersections manifesting precisely when required. This is the essence of the fifth movement. The instant you are no longer positioned at the boundary between two reality streams, but have begun stepping into the emerging reality. And every movement in your existence now is confirmation that the emerging reality stream has initiated shaping you from the inside outward. As the emerging reality stream advances closer, you begin to experience a refined yet decisive phenomenon. The way you sense your own presence begins transforming moment by moment, as though an expired layer of identity is dissolving and a new layer is ascending from beneath. More powerful, more transparent, more composed, and more authentic. This is the phase where your future identity is no longer merely sending transmissions, but is beginning to merge into your current energetic field, generating a blending between who you are and who you are becoming. This merging does not occur through thought. It occurs through frequency. You discover yourself making selections you once feared, articulating words you did not recognize you could articulate, maintaining a composure you never possessed before, and standing in your own energy without exertion, without performing, without needing to validate anything to anyone. This occurs because your future identity has begun becoming your present identity. This is the detuning between you and the expired frequency comparable to two instruments that no longer harmonize. One naturally loses resonance and shifts to a different tonality. What is most fascinating is that none of this requires exertion. It occurs because a more powerful reality stream is calling you into it. You will also observe an instantaneous clarity. This is the mechanism of synchronization, when your present identity and your future identity begin to align into a single coherent trajectory, instead of two parallel tracks. This alignment generates a sense of rebirth, not in a mystical sense, but in the sense that you begin operating like a new system, no longer powered by terror, but powered by knowing. At this phase, you also observe a powerful shift in the way you respond to the world around you. Things that once generated anxiety now pass like a gentle wind. Words that once generated self-doubt no longer penetrate your nervous system. Circumstances that once overwhelmed you are now perceived with clarity so acute that you surprise yourself. This is not desensitization. It is the upgrade of your nervous system as it synchronizes with an elevated frequency and ceases reacting from expired memory. You no longer operate through defense. You operate through selection. Instead of reacting, you begin responding. Instead of worrying, you begin observing. Instead of being absorbed into disorder, you become the stabilizing rhythm. This is the internal transfer of authority, where you no longer exist based on how the world treats you, but based on how you treat your own existence. When this transfer occurs, you begin to perceive a layer of truth most individuals never observe. You are not constructing a new existence. The new existence is forming around you because it recognizes you are prepared to enter it. Opportunities you once believed required exertion begin manifesting on their own. Connections aligned with your frequency arrive without strain, and pathways you once believed required force now reveal themselves simply because you arrive at the proper instant. This is the most apparent expression of a dominant reality stream when it begins sculpting the environment around you into the structure that corresponds with itself. And the most striking component is that you no longer feel astonished by these occurrences. They do not shock you. They feel familiar, as though you are recollecting rather than discovering. Everything aligned with your frequency always feels like recognition. When the emerging reality stream becomes your primary operating current, you perceive two things shift simultaneously. The external world begins treating you differently, and internally, you are no longer affected by how the world once treated you. Your internal authority becomes the foundation, not in a controlling manner, but in a manner where nothing can pull you away from your center. Regardless of what occurs, you remain clear, steady, and internally organized. This is the most powerful indication of a consciousness aligned with an emerging reality, because when you can maintain your center, the emerging reality stream can synchronize with you completely and begin materializing at a substantially faster rate. The sixth movement is the instant you comprehend you are not approaching victory. Victory has entered you. You are not anticipating the future to reveal itself. The future is absorbing you into itself, and from this instant forward, the movement of your existence is no longer arbitrary. It becomes a precise, refined, powerful trajectory that you cannot misidentify. As you advance into the more profound phases of reality convergence, you begin to observe a decisive phenomenon that very few individuals ever comprehend correctly. The natural elimination of everything that does not belong to the frequency layer you are entering. Not through conscious selection, but through the automatic mechanism of the emerging energetic field. This is not a process of deprivation. It is a purification process of the emerging reality stream designed to generate the space required for new structures to form without interference from expired patterns. What you must comprehend at this phase is that the departure of the expired is not a negative signal. It is a signal of precision. When an emerging reality stream stabilizes, it immediately severs information branches that do not correspond with its trajectory. Certain connections drift away not from conflict, but because you no longer emit the identical emotional wavelength. Certain opportunities you once desired vanish, not from absence of fortune, but because they no longer align with the direction you are advancing in. Certain habits, aspirations, and interests that once held importance fade as though they were never genuinely yours. This is the logic of a quantum system optimizing itself. A reality stream does not simply transport you to a destination. It reshapes the entire pathway to eliminate anything that could distort the final outcome. When you comprehend this, you cease feeling disoriented when transformation occurs too rapidly or too quietly, and you begin to perceive the elegance of the mechanism because it reveals you are no longer the one attempting to arrange your existence. You have become the one being arranged by the reality stream. Within this purification, something highly refined manifests. The sensation of stepping into a space that belongs to you, a space no one transported you to. It feels perfectly proper, as though you have entered a chamber that has been yours for an extended duration, but only now becomes accessible. This sensation is not excitement. It is alignment, coherence, profound agreement between your internal world and your external reality. As this sense of alignment cultivates, another phenomenon emerges: the separation between interference and signal. You begin to distinguish the echoes of the expired reality stream from the direction of the emerging one. Doubts, vague terrors, sensations of insecurity all manifest clearly to you as though they belong to someone else, and you comprehend you do not need to battle them. You only need to cease responding. This is the natural interference shutdown mechanism. The emerging reality stream does not require you to battle the expired components of yourself. It only requires that you cease feeding them energy. This absence of response is what causes the expired reality stream to dissolve. Another clarity emerges: the sensation of being directed toward a single direction that no longer requires questioning. Resolutions that once generated hesitation now reveal themselves through one quality: lightness. What is genuinely proper never generates tension. It generates space. What is proper never constricts you. It expands you. This is the indication of resonance with the emerging information field. The more you follow this lightness, the more rapidly the emerging reality stream synchronizes into position. At this phase, you also observe a powerful shift in how the world reacts to you. Not because you transformed your behavior or your words, but because you are emitting a different frequency that automatically attracts those who correspond with it and gently repels those who do not. This is the nature of resonance. You do not select the proper individuals. The proper individuals select you. Meaningful connections occur more rapidly, more profoundly, and more precisely. Interactions become more authentic without performance or pretense. You begin existing in your truth without needing to defend it. And when you stand in your truth, the emerging reality stream begins deploying its first layer of reality. You begin perceiving refined yet unmistakable indications. The sense of chronology becoming more flexible. The sensation that each step you take is supported by an invisible force. The sense that someone ahead of you is removing the pathway. The absence of the expired walls that once obstructed you. This occurs when your frequency corresponds with the frequency of your future identity. The emerging reality stream is no longer simply sending transmissions. It is beginning to materialize. And the seventh movement is the instant you comprehend the most significant truth of this journey. You are no longer advancing toward the future. You are stepping into the expression of yourself who has already completed the pathway. You are no longer locating the way. You are walking on a way that has been prepared for you. You are no longer the seeker. You are the one being called home. As you enter the final layer of reality convergence, you begin to experience a highly particular movement unfolding, not from the external world, but from the center of yourself, where your entire system of beliefs, emotions, perceptions, and intuition merges into one unified frequency, stable, coherent, and sufficiently powerful to pull everything in your existence into alignment with it. This is the instant when the emerging reality stream is no longer sending transmissions, no longer testing structures, no longer echoing hints from the future. It is beginning to become physical reality, touching every direction you take, every connection, every resolution, every occurrence in your daily existence. At this depth, you finally comprehend something you once only heard others discuss: that existence can rearrange itself with stunning precision, and you no longer need to strain to maintain things on track, because the current of the emerging reality stream is directing you on its own. This is not sorcery, it is the mechanics of the energetic field. When your frequency reaches stability, no longer shaken by expired interference, expired memories, or expired terror, you become a complete anchor point, and reality immediately responds to that dimension of coherence. This is the instant when you observe the greatest shift of your entire journey. You are no longer attempting to become a superior expression of yourself, because you have already become the expression the emerging reality stream can synchronize onto. You no longer need to validate yourself, no longer need to pursue anyone, no longer fear that everything might collapse at any second. Instead, there is a powerful composure, an unshakable certainty, a silent knowing that you have already stepped into an emerging reality. You act less, but accomplish more. You articulate less, but influence more. You select less, but select with precision. Everything becomes more refined, yet more powerful, because nothing you do originates from terror. Everything originates from clarity. And when clarity becomes the foundation, you begin sculpting the cadence of your reality. This is the effect of an identity that has merged with its future. The instant you stand at the center of a reality stream already completed. And when you comprehend this, a paradoxical but elegant sensation emerges. Gratitude, not toward any particular individual, but toward the journey, the challenges that sculpted you, the heartbreaks that reconstructed you, the expired expressions of you that exhausted themselves so an emerging expression could manifest. This gratitude generates the final quantum leap, because when you appreciate the past, you release it. And when you release it, the future can completely enter you. If this transmission has shifted something within you, consider returning to it each morning this week. Let it recalibrate your frequency as you begin each day. And if someone in your life is standing at this threshold right now, share this with them. That act of sharing creates an energetic ripple that accelerates both your convergence and theirs, expanding the field of coherence between all of us, moving into these elevated reality streams together. And now there is something I want to communicate to you sincerely and from the energy of this journey. If what I articulate resonates with you, if these transmissions help you perceive yourself more transparently, comprehend your pathway more profoundly, and maintain your frequency in challenging times, I invite you to support the channel with a modest contribution so I can continue dedicating time and energy to generating elevated frequency content like this. Every transmission takes days of composing, refining, calibrating, and I always want to offer you the superior quality, the dimension you genuinely deserve. Your contribution, regardless of how modest, provides me the motivation to continue delivering these messages to you and to those who require them. If you sense these messages possess value, contribute as you feel directed. So I recognize my work is intercepted, appreciated, and most significantly, so I can maintain walking beside you in the subsequent phases of this journey. Because you are not simply observing, you are stepping into an emerging layer of reality, and I want to continue generating the space, the frequency, and the illumination for you to advance even further. The eighth movement is the validation that you are positioned at the final threshold of convergence. And what is approaching you is not something you must struggle for. It is something you must be prepared to intercept. And if you want me to continue walking with you, send a signal of support so I recognize you are present. So I recognize you want the subsequent transmissions to manifest, so I can gather the energy to generate things even more powerful, more profound, more luminous. You are highly proximate to an emerging explosion of your existence, and I recognize there is still so much we will uncover together. Your presence and your support genuinely matter. Now, as you stand at this convergence point, there's something crucial you need to understand about what happens after the old reality stream collapses. The moment you choose yourself, reality doesn't just shift around you. It actively reorganizes to support your new frequency. I've explored this precise mechanism in another transmission that reveals how the universe responds when you finally make that internal choice. You'll discover why this single decision creates a cascade of external changes and how to recognize when reality is restructuring itself in your favor.